Aston Villa won, West Ham United won. I'm very pleased. I've got to say, I'm very pleased. I'm quite hopeful with that. I've seen enough encouragement from particularly the way we finished that game in the second half to be looking forward and thinking, well, hold on, if we can do this with a makeshift team, because I thought we were the better team. I really did. I don't think there was much in it. I really don't. I think if Villa would have scored at the end, it would have been such rough justice. But I think if we'd have scored at the end, you might have thought, okay, I think we probably edged that. I'll tell you the stats now. I've just pulled them up before starting to record the video. Obviously, it was 1-1, 14 shots apiece, 4 shots on target each. But we had 55% of the possession and 84%. We had, our passing was better than theirs. We had more of the ball than them. I was pretty pleased with it, actually. In fact, not pretty pleased. I was very, very pleased. We started badly. We really did. But there's a lot of mitigation. I think you could probably offer mitigation on both teams. So I think if I just end up talking about the second half, you're just going to think everything's brilliant. It wasn't brilliant all game. So we'll go back to the start. But overall, I'm absolutely delighted. I'm really looking forward to us playing again. And I wasn't too pleased when I saw the team because it's such a makeshift side that he's having to put out because of all the injuries. That, you know, that's our mitigation. Aston Villa's would be, well, they've had a European game in a week, but they've got a much better squad than us, and their bench was really good. So, yeah, were they more fatigued? Yes, they were, but we've hardly got any players at all. So that was, I mean, I found it, you know, quite impressive, really. The start of the game was awful. Not just because of Jacob Ramsey's goal, which was really early. I remember when I was 6, I should have 6 minutes or something. 8 minutes, sorry. Easily avoidable, I felt, really. It was relatively simple, give and go. And I thought Souček was just easily bypassed. He lost his man, he lost concentration, and then too easily passed him over to Soufal, who probably should have been stronger. And at that point, 8 minutes in, you're thinking, this is going to be nasty. I thought it was going to get heavy. I really did, but that's our PTSD as fans. That's our trauma, isn't it? Because we're so used to getting thumped. You think when that early goal goes in, you think, here we go, we're going to lose 5-0. Because it's happened so often under Lopetegui and the last 6 months of Moyes' reign, of course. But that didn't happen. We were steadfast. We were resolute. We stood up. Some really good defending to the point where, well, I've even told you the stats. 4 shots on target. Areola didn't really have a lot to do. I'm not going to sit here and tell you about loads of world-class saves that Areola made. He didn't really have to, truth be known. I thought Max Kilman was sensational today. Probably the one player who was brilliant in both halves for West Ham. Everyone else sort of started, just got better and better, got increasingly better. But yeah, just in case I forget him at the end of the game, the long passing, dribbling out from the back, brilliant tackle, last-ditch tackles, blocks, headers. That was impressive. He needed that. I think he needed that one, actually. And not just because I thought he'd been poor, he had a couple of poor games, but also because of the makeshift events around him. You know, he had Vladimir Soufal as a centre-back next to him, and I've already said, you know, we've conceded an early goal. It went directly, you know, through. He was directly involved, Soufal, in that early goal. And he had Aaron Cresswell, the other side. So you needed that from your one central defender. That's what you needed. And like everyone else, I was disappointed that Casey didn't start. But when you go and put in a performance like that, you think about Potter, okay, you know, fair enough. I've got no arguments with what happened there. But we were under the cosh, there's no doubt about it. We were under the cosh, but we were like trying to annoy them. We were annoying them. We're not just trying to annoy them. I thought we sort of put them off their stride a little bit. It was weird listening to it on the telly because Villa Park was really quiet, actually, really quite eerie and like lots of empty seats. I know we can't speak, West Ham and all the rest of it, but to be fair, I do understand it actually because got Champions League football. Obviously, well, we know beat us in the FA Cup. You know, they're in a lot of competitions and. Yeah, so obviously it's going to be difficult to afford to go to football all the time, isn't it? But it was a weird atmosphere. Lots of play acting, lots of people throwing themselves down. There was one farcical part in the game where, like Paquetá was trying to annoy Luca Dean and or was it Matty Cash? Whatever. He was definitely trying to annoy Luca Dean, but no, there was one. No, it was with Luca Dean, and then Luca Dean. he was annoying him. Luca Dean sort of went like that. Paquetá threw himself to the ground. Then his sort of response, even though he was miles away and it was 5 minutes later, 2 minutes later, Matty Cash threw himself to the ground. There's loads of play acting happened there. There was an injury, actually, quite looked like a bad injury to Tyrone Mings. Wasn't Kudus's fault. Kudus got a little bit of booing afterwards, but it wasn't a foul. It was just, as Tyrone Mings, he's a good player, but he's fragile, isn't he? And that's really all that happened there. Let's get on to some of these performances because let me just click off to a different screen so I'm prompt myself. In fact, let me just bring the line up. So I don't normally do this, but I just want to prompt myself as I'm going through it. Okay, we discussed the back line and look, Alvarez was taken off at the end because he was about to get a red card. He'd already got a yellow. He was going to get a red card. He should have got a red. Listen. I think he had 3 shots, bloody awful, all over the place. Doesn't know what the offside is. Likely to get sent off. So you're thinking, bad then, Alvarez, if you've not seen the game. No, he was... I was really impressed with him today. He got assist for our goal. Lovely cross, really, really sort of deep curling cross. If Trent Alexander-Arnold did that, well, to be fair, he pretty much did, actually. He pretty much did it against Ipswich. It was not dissimilar to what you saw against Ipswich, what Trent Alexander-Arnold did. Really good cross. But I thought his tackling was really good. I thought his commitment to the cause was excellent. The goal was scored by Emerson. And if I'm honest, I don't really notice him in the first half. Just as he scored, he was preparing to sub in Potter, and you'd had no argument from me. He did come into it a little bit more, actually, start the second half, but the whole team did. Something happened at half time. I don't just mean there was an interval, by the way. 40,000 people had a cup of bovril, whatever. Something happened at half time in that changing room. And do you remember we used to say? Well, I say we used to get the old Moisey used to get the Horlicks out and the Valium at half time. It was we came out better. We something had changed. A sharper tactical mind than mine will tell you what's changed. I've no doubt about it at all. But we were better. We started in the first half pressing quite well, but we just managed to get Kudus more involved. I think players started to play better as well. Lucas Paquetá really started to get involved in the game. Wan-Bissaka was by the end of that game, he's supreme. I make no apologies for it at all. He is my favourite summer signing. I think he's brilliant. I absolutely love him. I'm delighted. I really hope he spends the rest of his career at West Ham. He's going to play in a number of positions for us. Doesn't matter where you play him. Right centre back, right wing back, right back, left back. He's played left wing back. He's played it all. Let's be fair. I think he's brilliant everywhere he plays. He's a brilliant footballer. By the end of it, he turned into Cafu basically. They couldn't deal with him. He had a role in our goal. So did Kudus. I was so impressed, honestly, so impressed with the way that we finished that game. And I mean, I think I'll speak about it a little bit more tomorrow. Really, go like the promise of looking forward. I just wanted to sort of get this review up. Paquetá, when he was throwing himself to the floor, it was a bit embarrassing at the start. Truth be known, by the end of it, he was honestly, he was like the king of Villa Park. He was, I think, he did. Jamie Carragher gave him the man of the match. Kilman Wan-Bissaka or Paquetá for me, but I mean there was some good performances in there. Before I go, Ollie Scarles, he eventually, so Emerson scored. He took his header really well. Let's say that, and he did start the second half well. He started attacking more when we were more on the front foot. And what I really liked was he went off, and I thought he took it really, really well. Scarles came on. What's the new guy? I should know it. I'm trying to look for that new guy that came on for Marlon. That's it. They just signed him for Borussia Dortmund, I think. Brilliant tackle. I'm talking like superb. I'm not going to say the word. I've got someone in my mind who tackled like that. I'm going to say it's too much pressure. Different position as well. You probably know what if you're an old timer, you probably know what I'm saying. Really, really good, brilliant challenge up into his running, attack down the flank, good cross, really good cross. I mean, he could have set up a goal. This is twice now that we've seen it with him. I think the last game? It might have been with the came on crossover to Paquetá. He's getting better, you can see it, but I was very impressed with him. Very, very impressed with him. I think Ings looked sharp when he came on. Really pleased. Really, really pleased with everything that I saw there. So, a well-deserved point. A well-deserved point. And there's no doubt about it. For the first half an hour of that match, probably more, Aston Villa were the better team. But in the end, we defended well. We toiled. We closed them down. We pressed. Then we started to annoy them. We drew them into a bit of a conflict, maybe, that they didn't want. There was a little bit of play acting there. Some of the darker arts, perhaps. Got it at half time. Potter did his stuff. We came out and yeah, I mean we finished a stronger team. Look, let me just say I was not that impressed when I saw it. Because we did look slow, and we were slow. Look, we'll deal with that tomorrow. Let's get this video up now. We'll deal with tomorrow, and we won't. We'll deal with today, tomorrow. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'll let you get on with what's left of your Sunday evening. Really chuffed. Really, really chuffed with that. Got to say, I was most pleased I've been by 1-1 draw for a long time because it gives a little hint that things are getting better.